The nature of language. The nature of language refers to the features that are common to all naturally occurring languages. Language is systematic, which means that it consists of recurrent elements that occur in regular patterns of relationships. Speakers are usually unconscious of the rules or principles they use to create sentences. Language is also symbolic, meaning that the meanings of symbols in a language come through the tacit agreement of a group of speakers. Language is social and reflects the social requirements of the society that uses it. Learning a language involves acquiring knowledge about different levels, including lexicon, word meaning, pronunciation, grammatical category, phonology, morphology, syntax, and discourse. Children acquire this knowledge for their first language without conscious effort, but it is more difficult for adults learning a second language. However, high levels of multilingual competence attest to the potential power and effectiveness of mechanisms for SLA, which is a major focus of study in linguistics. Approaches to the study of second language acquisition. This part discusses early approaches to second language acquisition, SLA, and begins with contrastive analysis, CA, which was developed before SLA became a systematic field of study in the 1960s. CA involved comparing the learner's native language, L1, and the target language, L2, to predict and explain learner problems based on similarities and differences between the two languages. This approach was heavily influenced by the dominant theories in linguistics and psychology of the 1940s and 1950s, structuralism and behaviorism. CA focused on the surface forms of both L1 and L2 systems and described and compared the languages at one level at a time, generally starting with the phonology of L1 and L2, then morphology, then syntax, with the lexicon receiving relatively little attention, and discourse still less. The approach prioritized analyzing structures before meaning and assumed that language acquisition essentially involves habit formation through a process of stimulus-response reinforcement, SRR. According to this view, learners respond to linguistic input and reinforcement strengthens the response, leading to habituation and learning. The theory also assumed that there would be transfer in learning, meaning that elements acquired in L1 would transfer to L2. Positive transfer occurs when the same structure is appropriate in both languages, while negative transfer occurs when the L1 structure is used inappropriately in L2. The process of CA involves describing L1 and L2 at each level, analyzing comparable segments of the languages for elements that are likely to cause problems for learners, and constructing language lessons that focus on structures predicted to need attention and practice.